Boop, 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 boop. All right, family, what's going on? It's Dr. Delatoro. So pumped and excited that we are here today. Listen, y'all, I've got a very, very special guest in the building. Y'all, as you know, we are pumping up and praying up for our Full Throttle experience coming up June 29th through July 3rd in beautiful Clearwater Beach, Florida. And so I wanted to literally invite a living legend to come hang out with us for a few minutes tonight and talk about this conversation of what it means to live life to the fullest, what it means to go full throttle, and what it means for us to really shift into a higher gear. And I can't think of anybody better to have this conversation about what it means to shift. And I can't think of anybody better to have this conversation about what it means to live life to the fullest than this remarkable gentleman who is going to be one of our keynote speakers at the Full Throttle Experience. I have been studying this man for over a decade. Listen, New York Times best-selling author, lecturer, right? Global traveler, entrepreneur, influencer, professor, tenured professor, literally one of the most, in my humble opinion, he's one of the most brilliant thinkers on the planet today. And I am honored and humbled that he would come and spend some time with us tonight just to get you pumped and excited about why you guys need to be in Clearwater for the Full Throttle Experience. You guys do me a favor and put your hands together for literally a pioneer in the personal development space and a living legend himself, the one and only Dr. Kimbro. Love you, sir. Love you, man.
I love you too, my brother. I got to take you with me so you can give that introduction for me all the time, brother. Man, halfway through it, I'm looking around. He can't be talking about me. What did Moses tell the Lord of heavenly hosts? You want me to go to Pharaoh? You want me to speak to Delatorio's organization? Man, I don't know if I can do that, bro. Wow. Hey, it's great to be here, and what you are doing is tremendous. What you are doing is so necessary. You keep adding value. We have gone from the agricultural economy to industrial economy, manufacturing economy, informational economy, and here we are right now in the creators economy. That's right. You got damn near 8 billion people on the planet, Del, and you are pouring into your fair share. And as long as you got a smartphone and a point of view, you are in business for yourself. But a lot of people don't know what they're doing, and that's where you come in. That's where you help them close the gap and tell them, give them point A through point Z of this is how you do it. And it always begins with purpose. The greatest resource you will ever have is your mindset. And that's what this conference is about. Setting your mind, getting your mindset right. I just released a video on LeBron James. When LeBron James was fit, you talk about mindset.
Yes, sir.
And this is what Full Throttle is about.
Yes, sir.
Setting the mind right. And I'm not, I'm a Johnny come lately. I haven't done anything in my life. I just followed the footsteps of Napoleon Hill and finished his last book. But LeBron James is an excellent example of your mindset being your greatest resource.
Doc, you got to stop right there. Okay, we're going to come back to LeBron James, but you got to tell folks the story about how you finished Napoleon.
I'm not going to tell them the story. I'm going to show them the story. Hey, you're in my study. I got full range of motion.
Yes, sir. Cool. You guys, listen, I cannot make this stuff up, man. Literally, Dr. Kimbro is one of the most cutting-edge influencers of our time, and you're going to get a chance to meet him live in person at the Full Throttle Experience. Dr. Kimbro, tell us the story about how you literally finished Napoleon Hill's last work. Everybody talks about Think and Grow Rich, but you, sir, have done it. Talk to us about it.
And there he is. There's his last 100 written pages that I just pulled off the shelf in my study. Napoleon Hill's last 100 written pages, and on the working title, you can see it right there on the working title, Blacks Are Growing Rich. So here you are, Del. You wanted to see it? From Napoleon Hill's Hamilton typewriter to my study. There it is, right there. Right there. You wanted to see it.
Man, that's personal. Will you please break down? That is personal development history. Anybody who's a speaker, author, coach, influencer, who calls themselves in the personal development, can you speak to how crucial what you just showed us is?
And I'm going to show you something else. I had no idea you were going to do this, so Here we are. I am so glad. Bang.
Y'all, this is happening in real time.
And I had this blown up.
Come
My
on
wife
now.
told me, man, you need to blow that thing up. Well, here it is. So it's blown up. And what are you looking at, Del?
Wow.
This was an article that I wrote for Success Magazine that W. Clement Stone read, and he called me up.
W. Clement Stone.
W. Clement Stone, Napoleon Hill's business manager,
Wow.
and Success Magazine, because I was working on a book that was called "What Makes the Great Great," and I was going around the country. Let me tell you something, Del. So I was just conferred with my doctorate from Northwestern, and I told my wife exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't want to study poverty. I only want to study wealth, and I want to study African Americans. Let me show you how the Lord of Heavenly Hosts speaks.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I had that doctorate for a hot second before Time Magazine reran an article that they had about Martin Luther King and the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. Yes, and in that article, and I didn't look for the article. I just happened to see it before we had internet, and I picked up a copy, and there I am flipping through it. And when I read in that article, they said when Martin Luther King, organized the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955, there were only 5 black millionaires in the United States. Now, I shared the story of how I pulled out a sheet of paper and I wrote down 50 names of peak performers, African-American wealth creators that I was going to interview. When I read who the 5 black millionaires were, they were at the top of the list, and I started there. And who were they? John Johnson of Ebony Magazine. So I flew to Chicago. S.B. Fuller, who was also in Chicago, and that's the article that I wrote in Success Magazine.
That's right.
T.M. Alexander. T.M. Alexander in 1944 graduated from Morehouse College, and his uncle, as a graduation gift, gave him a $100 bill. So what did he do with that $100 bill? He launched his business, and he was the insurance agent that insured the cars used in the Montgomery bus boycott. Wow. Yes. A.G. Gaston, Dr. A.G. Gaston in Birmingham, Alabama, and I called him up. He said, come on, and I spent 3 to 4 hours with him, half a day in his office. And last but not least, Charles Clinton Spalding in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. So I started, and the reason why I started with those individuals, because Del, you know this game. Are you asking me for an interview? Who have you interviewed to date? And when I told them the heavy hitters, everybody else fell in line.
and this is the result. Come on.
I had so many interviews, and still I interviewed folks, and I never shared this story. I had so many interviews. I had enough interviews for 3 books: What Makes the Great Great, Think and Grow with Your Black Choice, and The Wealth Choice, and never repeated an interview twice. Wow. Because when you look at the last 100 pages, and so there I am, I just got back from New York interviewing Earl Graves, and my wife said to me, you better check your answering machine because some guy seems to be calling you up every 5 minutes. And it was W. Clement Stone. And so I checked my answering machine, and sure enough, he said, young man, we heard about you. When can you come to Chicago? I'd like to meet you. So the next day I returned the phone call, but it took me about 10 days to get the airline and get the hotel and money for the rent-a-car because, Del, I was dead broke. Yeah, and so me and my wife flew up there. She waited in the rent-a-car for more than 2 hours while I went and, and met W. Clement Stone and his staff and his team. And I didn't have the slightest idea what this man had in mind. Wow. But my wife gave me the marching orders. If he offers you a job, you taking it, because I was full-time in this. I was doing, I said, man, come on. I thought it would take me, barely 2 years. It took me 7. And I got sick and tired of living off my wife's earnings as an accountant. I had 3 daughters. They were all young and the like. Well, he didn't offer me a job, but what he did, he said, we got a proposition for you. And I said, what is that, Mr.? Well, first of all, the first question out of his mouth was, young man, or the first comment, young man, you're not the first person to go around the country interviewing successful African Americans. Right. Now, listen to this, Del. in terms of a self-help book, arguably the first one outside of the Bible was 1897. 18, well, I was about to say something else. 1897, W.B. Du Bois writes The Negro in Business in 1897. In 1910, 13 years later, here you got, and I got a copy of it right here.
Y'all, we can't make this stuff up, man. This is real time. You talk about the importance of a library. This dude's library is insane.
No, I got it over here. Don't move. Here it is, right there.
Every one of y'all who are grateful that you have a success library, I want you to put it in the comments. I'm grateful that I have a success library because you're in the vault. You are in the library with Dr. Dennis Kimbro.
And then you got Booker T. Washington. Okay, so W.B. Du Bois in 1897 writes The Negro in Business. 13 years later, in 1910, Booker T. Washington writes a book and uses the exact same title, The Negro in Business.
Wow.
So there it is right there.
Yes, sir.
You didn't have another business book specifically geared for African Americans until 1991.
Wow.
More than 80 years.
Wow.
And you wonder about the end result?
That's right. That's right.
So not only did, so there I am, and W. Clement Stone says, you're not the first person. I said, I'm not? And he said, no. He said, Napoleon Hill was doing this at the time of his death. And I said, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, the only reason why I studied Napoleon Hill, because when you talk about contemporary book, don't move.
Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? We cannot make this stuff up.
I know. I got all my books over there.
Y'all need to get your tickets right now. You need to be in the building. I can't even tell you what's going to happen, but you need to be in the building.
There you are right there. David McClellan, The Achieving Society. And David McClellan, he was a Harvard professor. Okay. And he was the first one to take more of an empirical background to achievement. And what do I mean by empirical background? Okay, so everybody's writing these books and blah, 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 but you got to do the grunt work. You got to do the interviews. You got to collect the data. And that's the way I was trained at Northwestern. They told me, man, you don't have anything till you have data. And there's only two ways you can do it. You can get the interviews or you can use surveys. So I'm thinking, okay, interviews. Let me go ahead and interview these folks. But in terms of the wealth choice, I used a survey in terms of, the millionaires and stuff.
Wow.
But the bottom line is, so he said to me, you're not the first. And I heard of Napoleon Hill, but I also heard of the individuals who Napoleon Hill read for growth and development.
Come on.
And who was number one that Hill read? And that was Orison Swett Marden.
Yes, sir.
So you're in my study right now. And imagine a young Napoleon Hill in his 20s, finding books written by Marden, any information on Marden, and he would just soak it up. Well, Orison Swett Marden, Del, wrote about 110 books and pamphlets.
Wow.
You're in my study right now. Let's walk through those French doors, and you will see 65 of his books on my shelf.
Wow. Okay, so okay.
I know for a fact I have the largest collection of Orison Swett Marden in the Southeast.
Wow. So let me ask you this question, Doc. First of all, thank you for everything you're dropping. But I want to make this super practical for people right now.
Yep.
How important is it I'm going to ask you three questions. Number one, how important is it to have a success library? Yep. Number two, how important is it to show up to live events and to be connected in person?
Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. We're going to answer question number 2 first.
Okay.
Everybody on that campus of CAU knows my classroom. Why? I got a sign on the door that reads, if you don't want to work hard, you don't belong here. But if you don't want to lead, under no circumstances, walk through my door. You walk through the door, And there's another sign that you see. It says mediocrity is not the standard in this class. Now, you can be mediocre someplace else, but damn it, you can't be mediocre here.
Not up in here. Yes, sir.
And then one last sign that reads, the third sign I have in my class. If you don't read, if you don't study, if you don't grow, if you don't develop, if you don't go to the seminars and you don't go to conferences and you don't sit in the front row and take good notes, somebody else will. And the day that you meet that other person, you lose.
Woo! The very day.
And that's why.
Yes, sir. Yes,
because
sir.
I got so many students will say, they'll come down during the commencement. Okay, I always focus on my seniors, on my MBA students or whatever. Man, Dr. Kimbro, I'm graduating. Give me a hug. I just want to say goodbye. I finished my education. Oh, you finished your education? I just started mine.
Come on.
And I'm 71 years old. So I don't want to hear it, man. It's lifelong learning. Again, going back to Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett said the key to success is 30, 60 minutes a day uninterrupted reading.
Ooh.
He didn't say money. He didn't say how much you have, how much you own, all the amenities, all the accessories, all the bling bling. He said success is 30 to 60 minutes a day of uninterrupted reading.
Nice. Yes, sir. Readers are leaders. Lifelong learning. You are an evangelist for this, Dr. Kimbro. Let me ask you this question. You and I both believe in mindset, heart set. I talk about this on my podcast, skill set and will set. And one of the things that I firmly love that you talk about specifically is every one of us, and I want you to share this because I heard you share this at graduation. I thought it was beautiful at one of your commencements that you've spoken for, so many that you've spoken for. You said we all want to do something that matters. Will you talk about that, the 4 things that we want to do? I think that is just such a brilliant thing that we all need to hear, and I want to hear it. I want them to hear it from you. Will you talk about the 4 things that matter?
Oh, yes. And about making a difference also.
Yeah.
I said, number 1, you're here to make a difference.
Yeah.
Number 2, you're here to make a difference with somebody else who wants to make a difference.
Yes, sir.
Number 3, you want to make a difference with somebody else that wants to make a difference doing something that makes a difference.
Come on.
And number 4, you want to make a difference with somebody else who wants to make a difference doing something that makes a difference at a time when it makes all the difference in the world. And this is the time. I mean, you live the average lifespan, 74, 77 years on Earth. Do the calculus. That's either 30,000 days on Earth or that's even 4,000 weeks. That's all you get.
Wow.
And Steve Jobs said it before he died. When are you going to poke a hole in the universe and prove you were here? You were built and you were developed and you were placed on Earth not to be ordinary, but to be extraordinary. We are all born unique, but so many folks go through life as copies.
That's it.
Coming to Full Throttle, this is a reset button about what is so different and unique about you, and we're going to talk about your area of excellence when I hit the stage. Ooh. So that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
You're not here to trade hours for dollars. You're here to trade value for dollars. And that's what's so critically important. So I'm going to be there. You're going to have it the 26th through the 30th or whatever, the end of the month. Tell me how many other conferences like this are going to be on the planet at the same time. Don't take it for granted.
That's it. That's it.
Don't you dare take it for granted.
Come on, y'all.
That somebody's going to pour into you. Somebody's going to give you the keys to the kingdom. I mean, when I look back over my life and how many times I've been interconnected with somebody else that was like-minded,
yes, sir.
I mean, I said, oh, my God, that didn't have to happen. But it did.
That's right.
Wow. Man, I could have turned my back on, but it did. We are all interconnected on such a thin thread. Man, we're not even talking spaghetti or dental floss.
Right.
You can't even see the thread that we're all interconnected on. And this is a powerful metaphor for life.
And Dr. Kimbro, you talked about the metaphor of excellence, right? And how important excellence is. And one of the things that we teach in the book, Shifting to a Higher Gear, is we say you have to learn how to put your weight into the things that you want, WEIGHT. And one of the things that I teach is that motorcycles are different from cars because In a car, come on, you know, right. In a car, all you got to do is turn the steering wheel. But on a motorcycle, you got to lean, and when you lean on that thing, it goes in that direction, right? So I encourage people in the book to lean into excellence. When you talk about how important it is for us to do everything in business and wealth creation and family, when you talk about how important it is that we lean into excellence and what that means in 2022.
What you do every day is what you'll do for the rest of your life. What you do with anything. I mean, excellence is not a part-time job. Excellence is what you do all the time. And excellence is the result from your personal values. I mean, Dell, right now, the day you were born, the day the Lord of Heavenly Hosts blew breath into your lungs, he armed you with 20 human values. Number 1 is achievement, and number 20 is wisdom. And what do we know about a human value? You never compromise your values. You use your values. It's like the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments weren't written to punish you. They were written to protect you. And how you do something is how you will do everything, by making sure that your values are your North Star, and you always walk toward your values, and you never compromise your value. You never cut corners in terms of excellence. You never cut corners in terms of achievement. If you don't like where you are right now, well, damn it, raise your standards. There's no such thing as poverty. Poverty is the end result when you remove wealth. There's no such thing as darkness. I mean, you go ahead and read the first chapter of Genesis, and he said, let there be light. The man didn't say, let there be darkness. But when you remove the light, what is the end result? Well, it's dark. Well, you want to end the darkness? Let there be light. And what is light? Well, light is wealth. Light is knowledge. Light is wisdom. So I got an opportunity to teach at the same school that Black America had the most prolific scholar, and that's W.B. Du Bois. And students would come into his class, and they would say, good morning, Dr. Du Bois. Dr. Du Bois, how was your weekend? Hello, Dr. Du Bois. How are you doing, Dr. Du Bois? As soon as they walk into his classroom, and what would W.B. Du Bois, what would be his retort? What would be his reply? He always said the same thing at the beginning of class. Pidea, 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 always Pidea. Well, Dale, what in the world is Pidea? Well, Pidea is the Greek term for knowledge. It is the Greek term for wisdom. It is the Greek term for understanding. It is the Greek term for education, for learning. And that's what we're constantly here to do. Jesus, where have you been? Don't you know you've been missing for 3 days? We've been worried about you. What? Me? You looking for me? Come on, bro. You know where I've been. I've been about my Father's business.
Come on.
And what in the world is your Father's business? Your Father's business is growth. Your Father's business is development. Your Father's business is being better today than you were yesterday. That is the only way that you're going to meet your potential and full life's purpose. 1% better every day.
Every single day. Doc. Come on, somebody. Every single day. I love it, man. Doc, you got to help us with something, man. You got to help us. Post-pandemic, right? Why is it so important now, post-pandemic, that we shift into the next level, into that higher gear?
Well, we were going that way. I mean, the pandemic is nothing special. All it did was accelerate it on the path that we're going. Now we say it's a digital mindset and a digital economy and a hybrid. Now, my business students, they just graduated, and they tell me, Dr. Kimbro, I'm more concerned about how I will work than where I will work. Well, we were on that path anyway. I mean, we saw it, Dell. In 1993, you had Cisco, you had Sun Microsystems, you had IBM who were working remote in 1993.
You're right.
So all we did was accelerate it. At the end of World War I and at the end of World War II, during those great world wars when all the men were overseas fighting, what was corporate America doing? They were trying to lure women out of the house to go ahead and work in corporate America. And women said, oh, yeah, we'll go ahead and work if you do 2 things for us. Number 1, if you pay us. And number 2, give us flexibility. There you go. Hybrid, remote. You know, here I am, virtual. If you give us flexibility and how we work. So it's not anything different. All you got to do, though, is develop the digital mindset.
Yes, sir.
There it is, man. And like I said, we have gone through all of those different agricultural, industrial, informational, and the like. And all you got to do now, you got a smartphone and you got a point of view. You are in business for yourself.
Ooh.
That's all you need is a smartphone and a point of view. You are in business for yourself. Now, all you got to do is look at me. People say, oh, man, Dr. Kimbro, we're glad to see that you're increasing, your digital awareness and blah, 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 blah. I had some folks in your neck of the woods down in South Florida, and I just got in contact with a guy, and the same conversation that I'm having with you right now, he was saying, whoa, man, I never heard you speak. Man, I never heard this information before. What do you do? Well, so I'm a college professor. Is this what you teach in your class? Yeah. Man, you ever think about sharing what you teach in class with everybody else? I wish I had my video camera now to go ahead and take a picture because I would throw it out. And I said, that's a good idea. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it.
That's awesome, man.
And bang, my profile has increased exponentially, man, because all he said was, man, I wish I had a video camera to go ahead and tape this, man.
Because you got
I would just go to the classroom and go home.
But there's so much in you, and you and I have talked about this, man. I remember we was having breakfast in Atlanta. You said, Doc, listen, I'm about to come back out, brother. I'm about to working again, and man, it's so. I want everybody to put in the comments, welcome back. Because Dr. Kimbro is coming back to the speaking circuit, y'all.
Man, I don't know about all that. I'm 71 years old. I'm just trying to keep I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to get as much space between me and you and the rest of them hip hoppers, bro. You show me where you and your crew gonna be, and I'll show you where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be over there on the other side, man. No, man. Listen, my swim lane, bro.
We need you, man. We need you out here because you are a pioneer. You are a living legend. But what most people don't understand about you, man, is that you're a humble, you are a graceful man. Tell us a little bit about your family, and you talked about core values. Will you share with us 2 or 3 core values that you live your life by, Dr. Kimbro, and it's a couple things that people can expect when they come to the Full Throttle experience and see you in person? What are a couple things that they can expect?
My students always tell me, Dr. Kimbro, you always push us, man. You push so hard and blah, because I know exactly where you need to be.
Come on.
I know exactly. Del, it would be a disservice for all the interviews that I had of folks who poured into me, and then I would just go sit in the corner and pick my nose and wouldn't say anything. No, these individuals expected a lot, and I don't care whether it was Steve Harvey or Tyler Perry or Damon John. I mean, you name it, and all I didn't do anything special. I just sat in the corner, I had my tape recorder, and I took notes with both hands. And whatever they told me, I placed it in a book. So they were so, they were so gracious to give me their time, and I'm going to go ahead and give it back to the next generation, and I know why I'm here. I'm just a placeholder. I'm here to place the baton in the next generation. But Del, you and I got to make sure that the next generation is fit, focused, ready to run the race of their lives.
Yes, sir.
You look at my background. How blessed I am. Okay. My grandfather was a butler. My grandmother was a maid. They worked for a wealthy white family in North Carolina. Del, I don't know if they ever got an opportunity, forget voting. I don't know if they even set foot in a voting booth in their life. Why? Because they both died before the 1965 Voting Rights Act.
Wow.
I mean, African Americans in the South couldn't vote until 1965, and here they are in North Carolina. My mother was a nanny. My mother took care of wealthy children. How would you like to do that for your entire life?
Right.
You take my mother and father and put them both together. I don't think over the course of any year of their life, they ever earned more than $10,000.
Wow.
But through that, they educated 2 sons. And so I bring that to the table. I know and I'm not going to let them forget it. Don't take it for granted. Yeah. I was in 8th grade before my parents ever got a car. I mean, I come from a different point in time. But here's the good news, Del. Applications may change, but the principles never change.
Yes, sir. Principles are universal. Teach on that, Doc. Teach on the universal.
Never change.
Principles, man.
Never change. So you look at me, and I'm an offspring of Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill's an offspring of Orison Swett Martin. And Orison Swett, you look at all the folks who influenced them. And I got all the great writings and everything. And they said that the greatest teacher in this country was Ralph Waldo Emerson. Well, who was Ralph Waldo? His prized pupil was Henry David Thoreau.
Yes, sir.
Just like Socrates taught Plato and Plato taught Aristotle.
Come on.
And Plato invented the academy. Well, what the hell is the academy? The academy is kindergarten to PhD. That was Plato's creation. Well, what did Aristotle create? Aristotle created the Lyceum. And you know all about the Lyceum, Del, because when you were in college, there you are in the classroom, and it's the amphitheater classroom. Yep. It goes back and higher in the rows, and you're looking down in the pit at the professor. Sure. Aristotle created that. Wow. Where the professor would stand in the pit and give him, his life experiences.
Yes.
And then, so you know about that.
Yes,
so
sir.
In other words, we enter someplace and we exit someplace. It's what we do while we're here in the center.
Come on.
And that's where Full Throttle comes in. It's what you do after you enter and before you exit.
Before you exit,
which is critical.
Woo!
Which is critical.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's why, okay, so here you go. I remember when I had an interview with Andy Young, and I said, Mr. Ambassador, this guy walked hand in hand with Martin Luther King. And I said, who had the greatest effect on your life? And I just knew he was going to say Martin Luther King, but he did. He said Benjamin Mays.
Yes, sir.
Benjamin Mays was a professor at Morehouse, and he became president at Morehouse. And I said, Mr. Ambassador, I just knew you were going to say Martin Luther King. I mean, of all the people you met, man, why Benjamin Mays? He said 2 reasons. And I said, what? He said, number one, you can always tell a student who was taking a class from Benjamin Mays at Morehouse. I said, what do you mean? He said, you can see them running across the quad. Why? Because Benjamin Mays only had 2 rules in his classroom. Rule number 1, he would always correct your English. And there, the juniors and seniors at Morehouse would say, man, this guy's whack. Why in the world is he correcting my English? And Dr. Mays would reply, would you rather have me correct your English or prospective employer correct your English?
That's it.
And then rule number 2, this is where you come in, Del. Benjamin Mays said, I don't care in the syllabus. I don't care in the catalog. I don't care on the course book. Class was due to start at 1 o'clock. If I got at that classroom at 12:45, that door was closed. On time is late, and early is on time, and late, well, late, damn it, is fired. And the first assignment, these seniors at Morehouse, because I interviewed some of these guys and they could still recite it. The first assignment that Benjamin Mays gave his students, you had to memorize that poem. I've only just a minute, 60 seconds in it. Of course, the Palmy can't refuse it. I know that I must use it. I'll suffer if I use it. Pay account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but my life is in it.
Eternity is in it. Yes, sir.
And I interviewed some folks who took his class and could still recite it.
Yes, sir.
That's like I said, it's between the enter and before the exit. All right, this minute, what are you going to do with it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me ask you this question for everybody who's watching right now, who is hopefully getting pumped and excited about this. You cannot not be getting pumped and excited about this. You are an absolute genius when it comes to wealth creation, wealth building. Talk to us. What are 2 or 3 of your favorite wealth building principles that you teach, that you believe, and why is it so important, especially now that we embrace these wealth building concepts?
Well, I mean, just like W. Clement Stone said to me, he coached me throughout the process. And one time I was up in Chicago, and Del, you talk about that 7 years writing Think and Grow Rich, Your Black Choice, and whatever has occurred in your life, it certainly occurred to me. I told you the story. I lost 2 cars in the process.
Yes, sir.
Almost lost this house on 5 different occasions. The second time, that we had our water cut off. Listen to this. We had our water cut off twice in this house because I didn't have money for the water bill.
Yes, sir.
The second time they cut our water off was on a Friday. We went the entire weekend without water.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And my wife said to me, well, and they put a $65 surcharge on it. I couldn't even afford the bill, let alone $65 extra dollars.
Right.
And my wife said, what are you going to do? I said, Pat, Monday, I'm going to just go down there and bare my soul, tell them what I'm doing. They're going to think I'm crazy and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to share this story when I get to full throttle. And when I share this story, won't be a dry eye in the house when I tell them what happened.
Yes,
when
sir.
I tell them what happened. So I'm not sharing that to go ahead, oh, man, empathetic. Oh, Dr. Kimbro, so compassionate. But no, I'm not about that. And listen, God doesn't test you. I can't stand it when people say, why in the world would he test you when he gave you the dream?
Come on.
When he gave you the vision. I mean, there's nothing precocious about your creator.
That's right.
He gave you the vision. All that is your silly ego and your silly self-doubt that is testing you.
Yes.
So when you talk about wealth, and just like I said, I gave you the keys, man. Wealth is all around us. Poverty is when you take your vision off of wealth.
Woo!
When you think in terms of lack, when you think into lack and scarcity doesn't exist. Your creator created everything in expansion. Everything he's done is diverse and multiply exponentially.
Yes, sir.
All you got to do is look at your credit card bill and see everything that you're buying today that you couldn't buy 5 years ago.
Yes, sir.
That's how wealth and growth is happening exponentially.
Yes, sir.
All you got to do is tap into abundance. That's all you've got to do is tap into abundance. And the quickest way to do that is focus on your area of excellence.
Yes, sir.
Your area of excellence. You can just stay in your swim lane.
Yeah.
I mean, folks call me. I get emails. I get text. Can Dr. Kimbro come in and speak in this? Can Dr. Kimbro come and speak in that? And I said, no, I'm not an expert in that. Go get somebody else. No, I don't, blah, blah, blah. All I want to do is stay in my swim lane. And what is my swim lane? You want to talk about wealth? You want to talk about leadership? You want to talk about management? And sooner or later, I'm going to come in the conversation.
Yes, sir. Absolutely have to, sir.
Sooner or later, I'll just stay in my swim. No, I don't speak on that. I'm not an expert in that field. Yeah, I can comment on that, but no, you go get somebody else, blah, blah, blah. Just stay in my. You couldn't handle all the speaking engagement if you wanted all the speaking engagement. And that would dilute your message. Because you would say, oh, let me go ahead and finish this so I can get on the plane and go do that one. And you couldn't be there. And that's what I like. Thank you, Del. You're allowing me 2 days. 2 days with you. And they will see me. Oh, yeah, I'm going to speak to you and I'm going to be booted and suited. But the second day, I'm going to be in play clothes, bro. They're going to see me in the trenches. They're going to see me there with my briefcase. I'm a professor, so Del, I'm a professor. That's my prop. See, I got my prop.
You got the prop.
Oh, my students hate this briefcase. They hate it. They hate this briefcase and they hate my glass. Dr. Kimbro, we're going to put our money together. We hate those great debater glasses. I said, why does everybody hate my? These are the cheapest glasses that I can find, but they're not stylish. So I said, come on, man, I'm 71 years old. My students hate my guts, man.
Oh, my Lord.
So they get on me now. They wear me out. They wearing me out. We don't want to talk about the case study today. Come on, man. We got to talk about. No, we just want you to talk to us. Tell us what we need to know. No, I'm not going to tell you what you need. Dean ain't paying me for that.
Dr. Kimbro, really quickly, will you just speak to, I love how you keep reminding us that poverty is simply the absence of our birthright.
Yes.
And when we just really own the fact that we are made in the image and likeness of a more than enough God, that means that we are automatically more than enough children, and there is more than enough everywhere. And the only time poverty shows up is when we are outside of that ideal. That is so brilliant, man. That's so powerful.
Yeah. And everybody's talking about change. Well, why in the world would you want to change when you're created in his image? And what is his image? His image is perfection. Del, you and I are not perfect. Everybody on this call, everybody looking at the StreamYard, you're not perfect. But everybody looking at the StreamYard, including me and you, we are perfect. I mean, we need to get on our knees every day and thank God we're created in his image. He's not created in us. So why in the world would you want change? Look, damn it, you don't need change. What you need is awareness. You need to know who you are and what you are.
Wow.
It's not your capabilities, it's your belief in your capabilities. It is not your resourcefulness, it is your resourcefulness.
That's right.
That's the bottom line. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Doc,
that is a great metaphor for life.
You got to rewind. You dropping too many gems, man. You said. So you and I teach the same thing. It's never resources. It's always resourcefulness. But I want you to go back to the one right before that. You said why we don't need to change what we need to adjust.
Awareness.
We need to. It's the awareness that we have of what we already have. Wow.
Sooner or later, you got to unplug from the culture. You got to cut the social media loose, and you got to remember the Sabbath. What in the world is the Sabbath? The Sabbath is that one day connect, realign, readjust, refocus, recenter. Be still. Will you please sit down? Will you relax? Will you let the ideas to flow? Will you go stand in the light?
Come on.
Go stand in the light. And so here I am.
Dr. Kimbro,
about year.
I got to tell you this
about year 5. Okay.
Real quick.
I was going to say this was about year 5 of my ordeal, and we got another bill, me and my wife, that we couldn't pay, and they were about to come do this and come do that. And my wife says, we got to get out of this house because we were in a pity party. Tears were flowing. We had placed 5 years into this book. Nothing was happening. She said, we got to get out of this house. I said, where can we go, Pat? We don't have any money. Who's going to give us some money? And she said, I'm going to give myself some money. I'm not going to tell you what she did, but she wrote a check. I'm not going to. And she said, we're going to go out to dinner, blah, blah, blah. So we went to a Chinese restaurant here in the suburbs of Atlanta. And we're there and we're eating our food and blah, 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 still having a pity party. And as you know, in the Chinese restaurant, they bring the check and they bring the fortune cookie. So they bring us the fortune cookie, and we opened up our fortune cookie, and I said to her, I said, what does yours say? And she said, oh, blah, blah, blah. I said, and then she said to me, what does yours say? So I opened up my fortune cookie, and Del, I didn't like what it said. It was something, blah, blah, blah. And I said to her, I said, come on, tell me what is your, and I said, Pat, no, this ain't my fortune. This is not my fortune. What does it say? And I said, no, I don't like what it says. It's not my fortune. What did I do, Del? One of the lowest points in my life at that Chinese restaurant. I went around every table, every patron that ate and left their fortune cookie, and I either opened up their fortune cookie or I took their fortune until I found it.
Till you found it. Yo, he went around until
Here it is. One Christmas, this was my Christmas gift from my wife one Christmas. Robert Schuller, Possibility Thinkers Bible.
Wow.
You want to see it? Here it is. Here's that's the fortune that I took off one of the lowest points in my life in that Chinese restaurant. You can't see it, but I'm going to read it to you. You will be surrounded with warmth and riches.
Come on now. Okay, so wait a minute. You decided that you said, listen, I don't like the one I got, so I'm going to shop around till I get the one that.
And my wife was so upset. They're going to call security on you. What are you doing? You going around every table? They're going to throw us out of this restaurant. I said, let them throw me out. I don't care. I ain't got nothing. And I went around every table, and when I found that, I came back, and there it is in my Bible. You will be surrounded with warmth and riches.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you know when that was placed in the Bible, Del? The book wasn't released in 1991. This was like 1987.
Wow.
1987.
Wow.
So I got so much stuff here.
So man, you got the confirmation. And so to every author who is watching, I want you to hear what you just heard. Because Dr. Dennis Kimbro is a New York Times best-selling author, and he's sharing how there was moments when, guess what? People wasn't buying his books. They wasn't feeling his content. They weren't feeling his. He doubted himself, didn't believe in himself, had the pity party. In other words, I want you all to understand that every high achiever doesn't always feel like a high achiever. We have our down moments. And Dr. Kimbro, will you speak to that? Because I believe a lot of us as high achievers have a lot of pressure and stress that we don't really talk about, because most high achievers lead while they bleed. So one of the things that I love about the Full Throttle Conference is that it's an opportunity for high achievers to come together and take the mask of posturing,
without a doubt,
the mask of positioning, and the mask of social pressure off, and just be a room full of people that want to grow and get better. So can you speak to the high achiever that doesn't always feel like being a high achiever and give them license to be human?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And you know what, Del? I mean, that's a part of the environment, that the digital environment that we are in right now. And that's one of the most dangerous games that anybody can play. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about cognitive dissonance. And what the hell is cognitive? The individual you are to the individual that you portray that you are. So yesterday was Monday. And I had a virtual presentation to Microsoft. I don't tell folks this, that, and I just happened to have a virtual and we talked about this. And I said, all right, you're in my study. And I said, here we are, look out the windows and you can see my driveway. Go ahead and look in my driveway at my house and tell me what you see. Well, what you will see is a 2006 Lexus SUV. 2006. I got 254,000 miles on that car. Now, my daughter's no problem. Dad, come on, man, go get a Mercedes-Benz. Go give it. That's not who I am. Yeah, I'm not saying I won't. I won't say I will. Yeah, I wear nice suits. I might wear designer suits and stuff. But just like the millionaires that I interviewed, Del, the reason why I had 6 focus groups around the country, I wanted to see how they interacted with each other. And I never, during the interviewing process, I never rode in so many raggedy cars in my life. I never rode in so many rust-out pickup trucks. I never rode in so many minutes. Is this going to make it down the corner? Man, I hope you got a spare tire, because I'm looking at these tires and they need. And that's who they are.
And you're interviewing millionaires and multimillionaires.
Exactly. So, yeah, when I interviewed Dave Stewart, who was one of the 15 black millionaires, and he told me that, you know, he was virtually at the end of his rope, so much so that when he paid his employees, they ran an article in the paper that he was about to go ahead and prepare for Chapter 11, and his business would close, Worldwide Telecom, that he had so many employees, when he paid them that check at the end of the month, they didn't come back for the beginning of the next month.
Wow.
He said he had to hire and this, that. But we all go through that. It's not what you're going, through. It's what you're going to. You keep the prize in front of you at all times. Just like I had that little video on LeBron James. When he was 15 years old, he developed a vision for his future.
Yes, sir.
Now, here's a guy, when he was a senior in high school, that senior year that he was in high school, he changed schools more than 12 times. Wow. Think about that, Del.
Wow.
Born to a 16-year-old single mother. When he was 15 years old, that's when he developed a vision for his future. And when he signed his first contract at age 18, he didn't spend a dime.
Wow.
He didn't spend a dime. Now, you're talking about, when you look at Major League Baseball, when you're looking at the NFL, and when you're looking at NBA, 78% of those professional ball players, if they don't declare bankruptcy, they at least consider bankruptcy, and he didn't spend a dime.
Wow.
And the first thing he did, he got his posse together, And he told his posse, Maverick Carter and all the other brothers, he said, you're going to be on my team. And the first thing you got to do, you got to know what you're talking about. So I'm going to send you to school and I'm going to pay the tuition for some of your classes.
Ooh.
That's the first thing he did with his team.
So he elevated his posse, and
he elevated his team.
You got to do that. You got to do that. And
you got to raise your level of vision.
Wow.
That's the first thing that he did.
First investment.
And then he expanded his zone, then that's when he met other peak performers and the like-minded individuals.
Yes, sir.
You never take advice from anybody who's in life who's not where you want to be.
Come on.
Ron Brown, when I went up to Washington, D.C., when he was Secretary of Commerce under Bill Clinton, I said, Mr. Secretary, what is the formula for wealth? And what in the world did he tell me? Oh, he said, he called me professor. Professor, that's easy. The formula for wealth is creative men and women with access to capital. I said, okay. I said, so what's the formula for poverty? He said, that's easy too. You hang around 9 broke people and sooner or later you'll be number 10. In other words, you gotta raise your standards and raise your vision and get out of that environment.
Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. Absolutely. Absolutely. Doc, listen, we could do this all night, man, but we wanted to just jump on here and give them a little bit of a snippet. I want you to close us out because we want them to come see us live in person at the Full Throttle Experience, June 29th through July 3rd, Clearwater, Florida, at the Sheraton Sand Key Resort. It is rest, it is reset, it is recharge. You're going to be around earth, air, fire, and water. You're going to be around all the 4 elements. You are going to shift. And watch this. This is happening at the end of June. It's halftime. So this is a locker room conversation with high achievers. And you all know that it's what decisions are made at halftime determine how the game ends.
Oh, without a doubt.
And at the end of the day, family, what you got to realize is this. If you want the rest of your year to be the best of your year, if you want the rest of your life to be the best of your life, you've got to come and put yourself in a place where you get to elevate your posse. You just heard how LeBron James was the first thing he did. Yeah. When he shifted his income, he invested in elevating his posse because he realized, chapter 8 of the book, shift your posse because who you ride with matters.
Oh, without a doubt.
I want you to ride with the legends. I want you to ride with the greats. And I want you to be one of those who are in the room to shift and to change and to transform and take it to the next level. Dr. Kimbro, I want you to close us out with the 2 things that Nelson Mandela shared.
Oh, without a doubt. But while you were talking, Del, I'm saying to myself, why is this at a nice resort in Clearwater?
Yeah.
This should be at a football stadium.
Come on,
the people that need information.
Yes, sir.
Folks look at me and blah, blah, blah. 3 times I was Professor of the Year in the School of Business at Clark Atlanta.
Woo!
Do you think that happens by happenstance? See, what no one sees is all the training and all the education I had at Harvard.
Come on,
Harvard offered us opportunities to go up there. I went up to Harvard and spent several days at Harvard. How to write a business case. What you will never find about me, when I give my syllabus to the students, Del, you will never see my books on my syllabus. I'm not there to hawk my books.
Come on,
and sometimes my students get pissed off. Man, Dr. Kimbro, I thought we were going to talk about the world tour. I thought we were going to talk about. No, ain't about that, bro. I'll use my business cases. Now, they'll go to the bookstore and they get all my books that I want, but I'm not there to hawk books. So I went up to Harvard on how to write a business case. A couple of years go by, I go back up to Harvard, how to teach a business case.
Ooh, nice.
A couple of years go by, 3rd time I went up there, and I went up to Harvard for a week, how to teach entrepreneurship.
Come on.
So that's just 3 times I went to Harvard.
Come on.
I can't tell you how many times I went to Stanford. Come on, man. So what you're doing, hey, man, it's called doing the grunt work. What it's called is chopping the cotton. We're going to chop the cotton in Clearwater.
Yes, sir.
And all the great peak performers do it. So there I am with Earl Woods, Tiger Woods' father. And I'm there with this guy 3 to 4 hours. And I said to him in 1998, Tiger Woods won the Masters. And I said, Mr. Woods, I said, was your son upset that he did not repeat as Masters champion? And he said, Tiger's glad the whole deal is over with. He's pretty exhausted. And I said, Mr. Woods, what do you mean pretty exhausted? And he said, very few people realize my son's practice schedule. You listen to me, Full Throttle, all you guys on this. Look, damn it. Pads down, pencils up. You listen to me. He said, very few people realize my son's practice schedule. I said, Mr. Woods, what is your son's practice schedule? He said, well, 3 times a week, he said 5 times a week he runs 5 to 6 miles. That was his run. Now, before I had both my knees replaced, Earl, that was my training run, 5 to 6 miles, 5 days a week. I run marathons, half marathons, 10Ks. Now that I have my knees replaced, I just walk. So he's a professional golfer, 5 days a week, 5 out of the 7, he runs. I said, is that it? He says, no, he has a personal trainer, 3 days a week he lifts. You can tell Tiger is buff.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Especially on Sunday when he wears red, because red, according to his dad, what he told me, is his power color. You can tell he got some diesel, under those tight Nike shirts.
Yes,
I said, is that it? He says, no, that's just the beginning. I said, what else did he do? He says, every day he hits 1,000 golf balls. Do you hear what I said?
Ooh.
1,000 golf. So I said, man, Mr. Woods, how long does that take him? He says between 6 to 8 hours. And then I asked his father, I said, wait a minute. He hits 1,000 golf balls every day. And what did Earl Woods say to me, Del? He said, young man, read my lips every day. And then you wonder why before his accident. So what we're doing at Full Throttle, we're going to lift the weights, we're going to run, and we're going to hit the golf balls for X amount of days.
That's it.
And then when we come out, we're going to be Masters champions in our respective field. That's what we're going to do. You're going to be a Masters champion.
Masters champion. Come on. Everybody who's excited about being a Masters champion, post it in the comments. And I need you guys to do me a favor and say thank you, Dr. Dennis Kimbro, in the comments. Let him know that he is loved. Let him know that he is appreciated. Man, Dr. Kimbro, I can't thank you enough for just donating some of your time tonight, man, and pouring into folks digitally, electronically through this digital age platform that we call StreamYard. And thank you so much, man, for agreeing to come and spend time with us at the Full Throttle Experience and pour into these high achievers. You are a master, sir. You are a living legend. And I love you, man.
I love you too, my brother.
And I want, when you come to Full Throttle, I want you to teach them some keys on relationships, because what people
without a doubt
is the importance of relationships. And although we're colleagues in this industry, we're friends. And I look at you as a mentor. And when I come to Atlanta, we break bread together, we fellowship, and you pour into my daughters. And so this is a relationship.
It's the new currency, bro. It's the new currency.
Yeah.
Yep, it's the new currency.
So
it's all about relationships.
Thank you all over the place, man. But when you speak to how important relationships are, if we're going to take it to the next level, we'll close out with that.
Yeah. Well, I don't care. You ask any anthropologist, you go to any sociologist, any behaviorologist, and they will tell you no group, no race, no culture, no ethnicity can go any higher than the level of a relationship between men on one side and women and children on the other. Well, if it's good enough for society, it's certainly good enough for your business. People don't care about you until they realize how much you care about them.
Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. Relationships is the currency of the kingdom, family, and it is the currency of business. Listen, we're pumped. Dr. Delatoro, Dr. Dennis Kimbro, it is a tremendous joy to have had this time with you all. Please tell Lottie, tell Dottie, tell everybody to get to the Full Throttle Experience 2022, Clearwater, Florida. We can't even describe to you what's going to happen. You got to be, people have been asking, Doc, is it going to be a streaming option? Is it going to be a online option? I'm like, no, it's an experience. You have to show up in person to be in the building to get this. So y'all, if I was
should be a Tampa Bay Stadium, that's where it should be.
That's right. Yes,
Come on, man. What are you doing? Come on, live your life on purpose. You're not going to be here forever.
Come
on, man. Let's go. The meter is running. The light is green. I suggest that you move.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We love it. We love you, Dr. Kimbro. Thank you for your time, my brother. Cannot wait to see you in literally about 2 weeks' time. And it's going to be absolutely incredible. And everybody on this stream is saying thank you, how much they
Praise God.
appreciate you, how much
Praise
they love
God.
you. How can folks stay connected to you? Can you give them how they can stay connected?
You can get me at DennisKimbroSpeaks.com. Hit me up on Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm all on social media. I'm not on campus. I'm enjoying my summer. So when I get down to full throttle, under no circumstances, call me Dr. Kimbro. Call me Dennis Kimbro. When I'm back in the classroom in the fall, I'll be Dr. Kimbro all you want. But please allow me to enjoy my summer.
I love it, Dr. Kimbro. Love you so much. Thank you so much, friend. This was fantastic.
Hang in there, man. God bless. I'll see you later.
See you at Full Throttle, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
2022.com. Thank you, Dr. Kimbro. Y'all, was that not incredible? I cannot make this stuff up, y'all. Come on. Make some noise in the comments. Fire off in the comments. Was that not incredible? Are you kidding? Y'all, he's a living legend, a pioneer in personal development. And if you're really seriously serious about taking your life to the next level, I cannot think of a better place for you to be in than to be in the energy of the Full Throttle Experience, June 29th through July 3rd, Clearwater, Florida. Do yourself the favor. Just lean into this. Just say yes. It is an in-person experience like no other. And you're going to be around some of the most brilliant minds when it comes to success and achievement, growth and development, and what it takes to shift your life into that next level. We all are dying for that shift, for that change, for that next level of awareness that he talked about. He said, listen, you don't got to change that. All you got to do is become more aware of who God already created you to be. When you become more aware of who God already created you to be, I couldn't take notes fast enough. And did you hear what he said? He said, listen, when I'm at Full Throttle and I'm not actually on stage teaching, I'm going to be in the front row with my journal taking notes. And Brian Tracy, who wrote the foreword to my newest book that Dr. Kimbro endorsed, said the same thing. And I've seen him do the same thing at conferences and events. My friend, if you're really serious about taking your life to that next level, show up to live events. And when you're not on stage teaching, training, coaching, developing, building, pouring into other people, be on the front row learning from those folks that are up there. And I guarantee you it'll be a game-changing experience for you. It's a powerful thing when you can not only learn from the teaching that's coming from the stage, but you can learn from the teaching that's going across the aisles. And the peer-to-peer learning, as well as the learning that you get from the platform, is absolutely second to none. It happens at the Full Throttle Experience. If you have not gotten your tickets yet, get them right now. Just say yes. Go to fullthrottle2022.com. We cannot wait to serve you the rest of this week and even next week. I'm going to be interviewing different guest faculty who are going to be coming to the conference and who are going to be pouring into you, adding value to you, taking you to the next level. And what I love about the faculty that come to Full Throttle is they don't just blow in, do their talk, and blow out. They come and they hang out. They come and go through the experiences as an audience member. They come and participate in the experience. And so if the faculty can come and participate, my friend, you should as well. And I love what he said. He said, listen, why are you doing this at a resort when it should be at a football stadium? That's how much he believes in personal development and personal enrichment and achievement psychology, my friend. You're learning, and you're going to be learning from literally living legends at the Full Throttle Experience. And I'm so grateful that this 71-year-old gentleman said yes to us and said, listen, just tell me where to be. We'll work out all the logistics. He gave me a great discount on his honorarium. And he's like, listen, just take care of your boy. But that's relationship, family. That's relation. That's the power of relationship. And he knows that I would do it for him in a heartbeat. And gone up to Clark and spoken for his class and all those great things that we've had a chance to do over the years. And so, my friend, I want to encourage you to start building relationships, solid, rock solid oak tree relationships, and watch how those relationships change and transform your life. We cannot wait to see you live in person at the Full Throttle Experience. This is one you don't want to miss. Remember this, opportunities never go away. They simply go to others. Take full advantage of this opportunity to show up at the Full Throttle Experience so we can help you shift everything in your life into a higher gear. God bless you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.